This is the Detroit Sports Podcast Network.
Welcome into the Monday Mashup. I am the Doc, John Macaroon. Obviously, Shay not with us today. He enjoyed himself some quality NFL football. He went out to Pittsburgh to check out his hometown team. The Patriots were playing the Steelers. Unfortunately for Shay, his weekend of sports for his teams in terms of Boston coming to Detroit and getting spanked. On the heels of a back-to-back, they lost to the Pistons after defeating Atlanta. Then he goes out, travels to Pittsburgh, and he's like, Doc, can you do me a solid? Can you fill in? I said, no problem, Shay. We'll get a chance to have a good conversation. I got a great guest. I had an opportunity to watch a great movie called Warrior Pride. It stars Rockey Black, a great production, kind of talking about AAU basketball, and it's a great movie, a great opportunity to have a conversation about making a movie, what it's been like for Rockey to star in that movie, to see the movie streaming on Amazon Prime, what it was like for him to coach AAU basketball around town and locally, and also kind of discussing some of the troubles that he's experienced. I look forward to talking to Rockey Black. You can follow the actual Michigan Warriors AAU team on Twitter at MIWarriors1. I look forward to having a conversation with Rockey Black, and that'll take up this edition of the Monday Mashup. You can follow Shay on Twitter at Norling Shay. I'm looking forward to this conversation with Rockey Black right now. He starred and produced in Warrior Pride. It's streaming right now on Amazon Prime. I had a chance to check it out last week. It's an inspirational movie about the trials and tribulations of an AAU basketball coach. And Warrior Pride is the first feature film focused on AAU basketball, and it's taken the nation by storm. I'm hearing a lot of great reviews, reading the response that people have to this movie, and it's a great opportunity on the podcast to talk to Rockey Black, the star of the movie. Rockey, welcome.
Hey, how you doing, John?
It's all good. Take us through a little bit about how this movie was put together. Obviously, it's based on a true story. It's a really good story that plays on Amazon Prime currently.
Thanks. Well, me and my wife have a production company. We've been doing movies, and we do faith-based films, inspirational films. So we've been doing films for since like 2004. And so this film, I've been doing AAU basketball with the Michigan Warriors AAU program for this our 19th year coming up. And so I've been telling my wife, because she's a writer and director, so she writes the majority of our stuff and directs it. So I was, telling her, man, I would love for you to write, a script to, to the Michigan Warriors and what I've, been through and all that. So, it took a few years because we're busy with other stuff, and then she surprised me with it on my birthday. And this was probably back in 2000, I think it was 2012. So still in the process of a movie, getting the funding behind it, stuff like that, the actors, it could be a process. So, we got it together, and then, the rest was history. We got it done and got it out. It was it's been on a theatrical run for 4 weeks, and then now now it's on the VOD platform at Amazon, which Amazon is like the hottest VOD platform right now in the world. So we're really excited about it, man. And it's been out 2 weeks from today. It's been out 2 weeks, so we're just really excited about it.
Yeah, it's a really good look at AAU basketball. Now, there's some prideful moments. There's also some challenging moments, and I definitely recommend all our followers to go check it out, Warrior Pride on Amazon Prime. Now, how did you get started with basketball? Take us through your love of the game.
Yeah, well, I played all my life. That was my first love. I played basketball, football, and baseball, but basketball was my first love. And growing up where I, grew up, I never knew my father. So, you got people that's looking out for you. And so that's one thing as I got older, I was like, I got more in the church and stuff. And I'm like, you know what, God, you blessed me with people looking out for me. I want to do the same thing. So back in 97, 96, when I went I played ball at Willow Run High School. in Ipsy, and then I went to I had to go JUCO, so I went to Schoolcraft, and then I met my wife. She was going to Eastern, and things didn't go as well as playing with the basketball because my wife we ended up getting pregnant, and so we had to go on with life, and take care of a kid. So my father-in-law, me and my two brother-in-laws, Jared Smith, who played at Michigan, and my other brother-in-law, they played basketball. So I started coaching in the WIA on Westland with them. And then we was like, you know what, let's start an AAU team. We started one team. We called them the Westland Warriors. And then after 3 or 4 or 5 years, we went to Michigan Warriors. And then, we didn't want people to think we were just representing just Westland. We wanted to get kids from all over and help them out. So my goal was always to help these, kids out. I always felt like, just like you see in the movie, basketball was the vessel that brought us together. But it's the story behind the movie, like how these young men come from all walks of life. Everybody don't have, like a perfect life. So it's different walks of life. So we touched on like 3 different characters when they come, different walks of life. And so, but that's how I run my program. It don't matter who you are, where you come from. If you want to get better, if you want to even get better as a young man and help develop character and stuff, that's what the Michigan Warriors program has always been about. And so we just went on every year, and then we just grew and grew, to now, like, in the past 8 years, 9 years, maybe even 10, I'm sorry, we have every age group for our program. And so it's just been a blessing, man. It's just, this is just something I do, spare time to give back, help kids. I got a heck of a coaching staff that's, that's dedicated to these young men and helping them out. So we just look at ourselves as that, it's how they say it takes a village to raise a kid. We're part of that village, and helping people raise their kids.
Yeah, and what drew me to the movie as I was watching, as a psychologist, a sports psychologist in particular, is how a coach has to sometimes take a personality and take a group of men and try and work together despite some challenges maybe with different personalities, despite some challenges with family members that might have different agendas, that, the efforts that it takes to try and will a team to a common goal, definitely for a sports psychologist, definitely drew me to the movie. And so as a coach, as somebody working with a lot of different personalities, what have been some of the challenges you have personally faced in terms of, working together and getting a group of men to try and reach a common goal?
First of all, the kid has to buy in, and sometimes, not all the time, but it's the kid's attitude. We don't just take every kid. We don't, if you think you're a prima donna or something, you can go to another program. We want to work with kids that want to be here and get better and get better as a team. So we're really big on chemistry. A lot of times nowadays, as you can see, and one of the reasons why I wanted to do this was a lot of, for one, with the parents, a lot of parents try to live through their kids. And then nowadays, they're trying to live through their kids, or they're trying to dictate everything that goes on. Everyone thinks their kid's the next Jordan. Everybody thinks their kids should play for free, in basketball. And basketball is like the biggest thing with that. Like, people have issues with paying but we have to pay for tournaments, gym time, uniform, stuff like that. So that's been some of the challenges is keeping, people saying, like, as far as we're a good program overall, really good quality program. If you want your kid to be taught the right way and help develop not only in basketball but character for life as he becomes older, then you want to be a part of the Warriors. And also what I love about Warrior Pride is it's not just when I'm getting feedback from high school coaches, AAU coaches, college coaches come out. They want their teams. They're going to make sure their kids sit down as a whole and watch this because it's a lot of lessons that you can learn, and it's also a discussion that you can have afterwards. So with the kids, it's like I said, back to your question about the challenges is funding because all our kids don't have the money to do it. So we go out, we raise money. We've done the Michigan football games. We've done charity poker. We've done, bottle drives to help these kids to be able, because we get, like I said, we get kids from all walks of life. So they, it's not like we have every kid that could just pay. We don't look at the kid that's the best player where, oh, he's going to be scholarship. It's like, no, it's like, what, is this kid in need? Well, let's try to help them out if we can. So those have been some of the challenges, and also keeping kids around because parents, like I said, try to dictate things. And if you go on a losing streak nowadays, they want to switch to another program because they're not happy. So that's a lot of challenges, and you'll be able to see what you have by watching the movie. All that is touched, but overall, it's an inspirational movie. It's a faith-based inspirational movie because I use God a lot. And, and talking to these young men and about, having your faith strong in God and he'll get you, where you need to be in life. So all that is touched in the movie. And that's the type of stuff that I love. When I read these reviews and stuff, how people, even people like, I'm not a sports person, but when I watched this movie, it was bigger than basketball. It was a story. That's why I kind of, compared to me, like a Blind Side, because football brought Blind Side together, but it was a story behind it. How the Stanley took this young man in that was suffering and, from his family issues and stuff. And they were even a different, nationalities than him. And how did, so it was a story behind Blind Side, which I felt like blew it up even more. So that's why I look at Warrior Pride. It's about basketball, but it's bigger than basketball.
Exactly. And what plays throughout the movie is the relationship that you have with your players, with your coaches, and how sports can definitely help people reach their goal. What was it like starring in the movie, one, and two, having your son in the movie?
Right. Well, it was, for me, the challenge is all those lines. I'm not the best at remembering lines, so I have to, when I tell you, I study 24/7, I study 24/7 to remember those lines. And that's the great thing about movie making is you mess something up, cut, do it again. If you're doing a play or something, you can't yell cut and do it again. So, but for the most part, I think that my wife, she's a very good director. And she's hard, in a good way, hard on me and pushing me just like she does the rest of her actors. So, it's challenges that I had to meet. And because also I'm like, if I'm starring in this, I can't make it look bad. I gotta do my job, and then producing it, stuff like that. That's a whole nother, ball game. But with the team we have, as far as with our film crew, I have a heck of a crew, man, and they took on a lot of responsibilities that, as we were filming, that I do as a producer, and it made it less stressful for me, and just focusing on my part, And then with my son, it's cool, man, because he's always, it's not like this is his first time acting. He's done a few acting gigs, and he's always been the type he just did it because his parents did it. Okay, yeah, I'll do it. But now he's starting to get the acting bug more. And so, doing, the couple scenes, without giving the story away, you've seen the couple scenes, the scene when, because he was the kid who had the dad who thought his son was all raw. There was nothing about the team. And he was kind of twisted because you could tell he cared about his team, but his dad was his dad. You don't go against your dad. And so he, so our start, the moment in the gym, which you seen with me and him when he leaves, and then the other moment, at the end, like I said, I don't want to give it away. That was really touching for me, to see afterwards and watching the movie, sitting in the premiere for the first time and watching it, and wow, that was really an impactful scene. Both scenes were. So it was great, man. He's a hard worker too, and he delivered. I felt like he did a really good job, with his part too. So had a great time.
Yeah, exactly. And I think what the film does so beautifully is it kind of tells the story of what it's like actually to be a coach and run an organization and try to reach the heights of success with winning tournaments and things like that. Now, many basketball players that are elite start their careers playing in AAU. We all know of some great stars that play in AAU basketball. Do you feel like AAU basketball gets a fair shake? Because there are some critics that do talk about, the fundamentals of the game have changed, that some of the players don't exactly, grow at the level that maybe they should because AAU teams try to recruit the kids, and sometimes maybe some programs will elevate a player's self-esteem to keep them on the team and things like that. So there's definitely a lot of talk and debate regarding AAU basketball. How do you shake out, and how do you think, AAU basketball has been portrayed nationally?
I think overall, like you're saying, I see both ways. And here's the thing. The biggest thing is it's the program you play for. Are they out to just get you because you're already talented? So, if it's a lot of, certain organizations, it's not about the kid. It's about their product and getting that money next year to be able to be sponsored. And that's just what it is. That's just it. But now some of those programs that are shoe sponsors, some of those programs still care about the kid. It's the ones who in it for the wrong reasons. Those are the ones. You know how they say when something bad, it's people more harp about the negative than the positive. So even the situation that's occurred in the last 2 or 3 years with the scandals and stuff like. That gives AAU a bad rap. But the thing is, what I can say over the years of doing this, man, I'm really impressed with even in Michigan and nationwide, how organizations, more organizations are developing into teaching these kids the right way, bringing them up the right way. It's a lot more programs like that nowadays that really care, but there is still some that brings the name, brings it down. So you just have to, as a parent, you have to really do your research and find out what's best for your kid. We get a lot of kids off of referrals, kids that came through our program, their parents. I get a lot of that, which I'm glad because they're hearing it from other people who's been, a part of the program and maybe don't even play for us no more, even people that still play with us. So we get a lot of referrals. And like I said, we don't take every kid. You got to fit into our program because I teach every kid ain't for every program ain't for every kid. That's at the high school. That's at the AAU. That's at the college. That's at the pro level. That's in business and life. Every job ain't for every person. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to get a job at Quicken Loans, that may not be the best job for you, but it is for another person. It's just part of life. And that's the type of stuff I relate to these kids when it comes to basketball, so they can at least say, you know what? I have kids, man, that's come back down. My oldest kids that's played for me is probably like 33 now, and they wrote letters to me like the difference that we made with, in their life. And some of them are like, I couldn't tell until I became an adult the impact you made on my life. You know what I'm saying? So that's what really motivates me to keep doing this. That's what motivates, because it gets stressful, man. It really does, because everybody wants this, wants that. You know what I'm saying? And then even like me as a program director dealing with, I got, 8 to 12 coaches on my staff that come from different walks of life, wants to do things this way, that way. So I always communicate up front, just like I do with parents, about this is the way we run our program. If you see something you don't like, I get it, walk away from it. And if it's going to hurt you or your child, then this ain't the place for you. So that's the way I tell people. And, a lot of times some people like it, some people don't. But I'd rather be honest with you and upfront with you than sugarcoat stuff. I've learned, from the past. So, but no, I love AAU, man. It's exciting. Get these kids out there playing against top-notch competition from all over the country because, we travel all over. Vegas, Texas, Florida, Indiana, Chicago, Kentucky, we're all over the place with these kids, and it's just about getting them exposure and help them to reach that goal, one of their goals in life. So
if you want if you want information about Rocky and the Michigan Warriors, definitely check out their Twitter page at MIWarriors1 or go to the website MichiganWarriorsBasketball.com. I'm enjoying the conversation with Rockey Black. He starred and produced in the movie Warrior Pride. It's streaming right now on Amazon Prime. Go definitely check it out. Give it a great review. It really plays well. It talks about the trials and tribulations of AAU coaches, and it really tells the story like it is. It's really relatable. It plays about 2 hours. It's a great movie. Rockey Black has been kind enough to give us a few moments. Now, real quickly, let's talk about the pro team here in town, the Detroit Pistons. A lot of people are a little bit excited regarding the fact that they had a good start. Unfortunately, kind of a couple lulls with some losing streaks, but I do think with the coach, the new addition of having Dwayne Casey, here in town, I do think it's kind of cool that, you do starting to see a little bit of a plan formulating in terms of trying to turn things around for the Pistons.
No, I'd actually like the coach. I'm one of them hometown boys. I love our teams. It's just sometimes when it comes to management and stuff, we don't like the moves. You know what I'm saying? And so, but it's us on the outside looking in. So at the end of the day, they are our home teams. I always support them. Sometimes I have a love-hate relationship with them. Especially the Detroit Lions. but at the end of the day, I do love them. I support them. I want to see them do good. I'm a hometown boy. I mean, people say, hey, why don't you, get up and move to L.A.? That's not. I'm like Eminem. Like, I'm a hometown boy. I love where I'm from, and I can do my business from here. So that's what I still do, and so. Yeah, I always support our teams. They're exciting to watch. I think we're a player or two away from. Even really I think a point guard. Really away from being a really a contender to at least make the playoffs. So. Yeah, I'm Detroit Pistons.
Thank you, Rockey, for the time. I appreciate everything that you've shared with us. Definitely check out the work that Rockey Black is doing with the Michigan Warriors. Based on the movie, you know that Rockey has a staff that definitely will take care of the kids and help them to reach a common goal. You can definitely tell that Rockey is a faith-based person, very inspirational, and I know that in terms of reputation, Rockey Black and the Michigan Warriors definitely have things going in the right direction. I think your kid would be served to check out that program if that's what you want for your child. Rockey, thank you so much. Anything in the works now for the future? Anything going on now production-wise?
Yes. Well, actually, right now we have another movie, a faith-based film called Turn of the Cheek. Very powerful. We're going to start filming in September of next year, for 2019. So right now we're in pre-production for that. So we constantly, we have two other movies after that. So you can only do one at a time. So I just want to thank people who listening. Like if you've seen the movie, if you haven't yet, and please check it out. It's well worth it. And big with independent films is it's very important to leave reviews if you can, because reviews gets other people involved. So we've been doing really well the first 2 weeks with our reviews and stuff. And so I'm excited, man. I mean, like the reviews we're getting, like I knew it was a good movie, but it's a blessing and a half the type of reviews that we're getting on the film. It means that what we set out to do actually happen, because the people are, they're liking the movie. So, but I appreciate you, John, and keep doing what you're doing, and giving the people what they want. And we're going to keep doing movies. And as I said, Warrior Pride, man, I don't think anyone who sees it, they won't be disappointed, man.
Exactly. Work hard, get better. I think watching the movie will be something that everybody will enjoy. Thank you so much for the time. We'll talk soon, Rocky. Thank you. That was Rockey Black of the movie Warrior Pride. Like I said, playing on Amazon Prime. Really enjoyable. I think if you have a couple hours to spend, definitely check it out. Hometown guy doing good things. And I like that. I like the idea of sharing your experience in a way that's relatable, similar to this podcast, in that, hey, we're just guys that enjoy broadcasting, so why not start your own thing? Rocky and his family started a production company, and they're doing faith-based movies that are inspirational. And I do think that what makes the movie definitely relatable is the ability to see how things actually go. The things that you would assume happen and the things that maybe you don't assume go down in AAU basketball, I think is reflected in the movie, and I think it's worth your time. Thanks again. Check out Rockey Black. Check out the movie Warrior Pride on Amazon Prime. All right, with that, this podcast will come to a close. Thank you for downloading another edition of the Monday Mashup. Shay will be back next week. Thanks again, everybody. Bye-bye.